This is Owen McKendry for ESBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Dave Coldwell in Leicester tonight. Dave, what did you think of the show tonight?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought when I walked in, I was quite taken aback at the production values. To be fair, I thought the light and rig, everything, it just looked great. And right from the first fight, crowd was in there, and there was atmosphere straight away. I thought it was a really good show. I enjoyed it.
Brilliant performance from Paige Murney. What did you make of that?
Yeah, absolutely over the moon for her. She boxed really, really well. It's her first fight back for a long while. Like I said, big show coming out with that ring entrance and everything. First fight back for a while against a fighter that's been, experienced at world level. Fought world champions, got a winning record, very experienced, like 20, 24, 23 fights. And it's Paige's second fight. I thought she boxed really, really well. One thing I love about Paige is that she's she brings violence. she's not one of these that just goes in there and just looks to win on points. Whether she wins on points or not, that's boxing, but you can't knock everybody out. But she goes in there to do damage and to hurt. And I think that's what boxing fans are going to love about her.
It's a bit of a show tonight, really, on the subject of been out the ring for a while. Ronnie Richards, Leon Woodstock, CJ Challenger. What did you make of Ronnie Richards tonight?
I thought he was excellent. I'm over the moon for him. It's not nice seeing him. I'll be honest with you, on off TV on a show where it's not got the big headlines. He deserves the big headlines, the big fights. But this is a fight to get him back, and this is what is needed. And he's back. He'll be back in the groove now. So now hopefully he can get into the big fights.
And then in terms of your fighters, Hopi Price, it's a good step up, James Beach Jr. I was in Coventry when James Beach beat Raza Hamza, a great fight. He's as game as ever. I know he's coming off on the back of a loss, but would you agree in saying it's a step up for Hopi?
Yeah, the reason why I picked him is because he's just fought for the British and Commonwealth title. So because he's just fought for the British and Commonwealth titles at featherweight, it tells me what we have to work on, keep working on for Hopi to be at that level. Experience-wise, I want people in there that are gonna. He will soak up the experience while he's in there with. I don't want some guy that's just going to try and survive. I don't want somebody that's got no ambition. That's what I'm wanting. And this year it's all about development fights for him. And James Beach fits the bill. And if Hopi performs like I'm expecting him to, and how what he does day in day out in the gym, then I'm expecting a very, very good performance to announce himself at featherweight division.
And then one thing I did want to ask you about, I noticed on Instagram Jordan Gill's been sparring Nick Ball. That must be some tough sparring for him.
Good sparring for both. Very good spar. Yeah. But that's why they've sparred before, and that's why I want it. It's you learn from sparring, you learn from competitive sparring, and there's nobody. I don't think there's anybody around that's as aggressive as Nick Ball, but not just. Yeah, that's doing him down. He's a very, very good boxer, and he thinks his way, but he's aggressive. He wants to take you out in sparring, in fights, whatever. He wants to take you out, and that's what I want for Jordan. That's what we wanted, and it's been really good sparring.
What is the next move for Jordan Gill? Has he got a fight lined up? Is there one agreed, or is it just...
No, unfortunately, in this sport, is you get beat and nobody gives a fuck about you. And that's kind of like the position that we're in right now. Just waiting on a date off of somebody. It's just about him developing and staying in the gym. We're going on training camp next week, where he'll get more top quality sparring. So it's waiting. I want him out. I want him out in June. He's ready to go for June. Not a problem. But we'll have to see what happens.
Big fight coming up in your neck of the woods. We've got Dalton Smith taking on Sam Maxwell. What do you make of that fight, and any predictions at all?
Great fight for Dalton. It's a great fight. It's somebody that's going to be coming to win. Sam's talented, very, very talented. But I think Dalton's a class act. I'm a big fan of Dalton's. He just took himself off to America for some quality sparring. his shot selection is very good. His intelligence level is very, very good, and he's learning. He's had a couple of long distance fights, longer distance fights, in his last two, where he's soaking up a lot more experience. That's what these kids need. It's not all about getting rid of somebody in a round or two. It's about getting those rounds as you're going through. So in the fights where somebody's going to be rolling the dice more, trying to win, not be as cagey, that's where you show your worth.
I spoke with Dalton tonight, and one thing I did want to ask him, and I did ask him it, was the Adam Azim fight. We've seen the rumours of it. Like Dalton said, they're at different stages of their careers. Along the line, is that a fight you want to see, and how far away do you think that fight would be?
I think anyone would want to see that fight. It's a good fight, but I do think that Adam's an outstanding prospect. But again, he's not for anybody at all that's going to ask questions of him. He's doing what he should be doing when you hit that hard and you are that fast and you've got them great levers. So he's looking $1 million, which is great. But there's a lot more to boxing than just going out there and splashing everybody.
And the main topic of boxing at the moment is one of the unfortunate ones. Obviously, Fraser Clark, Fabio Wardley, it was the purse bids, bit of a fallout, bit of hearsay, no one really knows what's going on. What have you made of the whole situation?
It's just disappointing. It's just really disappointing, the negativity seems to hit headlines more than the positivity in boxing. There's a lot of good things that are going off in boxing right now, but this has just come and just kicked you in nuts a little bit. But I think it's disappointing. It is, yeah, but I think everyone's going a bit overboard in how big a thing it is. It's a couple of prospects. Where fights not happen now. I think it's more embarrassing than anything, and the lack of communication between promoter and management company and all that lot. That's embarrassing. And how confusion in explanations and things like that. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a fight at domestic level between a couple of prospects that's not happened quite when we thought it was going to happen.
And to end on a more positive note, obviously we've seen Paige Murney's performance tonight. Big one coming up, Katie Taylor, Chantal Cameron. Is there a bigger fight in women's boxing at the moment?
Probably, but I can't think of one. Not right now. That's Katie Taylor against somebody, probably. Probably a rematch with Katie Taylor and Serrano, probably, I suppose. But this is huge because it's a statement in the fact that it's undisputed versus undisputed. That's like huge. That's the shit right there, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And it's not like she's having an homecoming against somebody that you can just knock over and just look good against. It's a real challenge. Chantal Cameron's a quality fighter and a super confident fighter as well. She's not going to be going over there just to play a part in the Katie Taylor show. She's going to go in there to just propel herself to superstardom. So it's a great fight. It's a tough ask for Katie Taylor, but yeah, it's a great fight. I can't wait for it.
And just finally, do you think for men's boxing there's a leaf probably several leaves that could be taken out of the books there? The fact it's undisputed versus undisputed, it's two warriors who are prepared to go in with each other.
Do you know what? People love to dig men's game out. Fucking hell. The pool in the female game is far, far shallower than the men's game. So it's so much harder to do. So, I hear people saying this all the time. Oh, yeah, well they should follow what women are doing. They're having real fights. They say, yeah, but they're getting world title shots after about 3-4 fights. 5 fights, maybe. I might have exaggerated there. But, which is great for them. But you don't need to compare and dig one out for the other, It's different, So plenty of men's fights gets made. These kids here that have boxed here have had real fights, right? They're not following on from the women's game, right? There are plenty of fighters out there that will take real fights, but then there are those where the big fights don't happen. And that when the pool gets bigger in the female game, that will happen in the female game. When they have more options in where they can make real money rather than just whatever money, exposure versus no exposure, then you will start getting those same problems.
Dave, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you very much.
Nice one, mate.